What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Yavin Base stream. My name is Endless. We're here to witness another game from the Invader League tonight. It is going to be Nauk versus JonSolo in Group 16 of the single elimination phase of this tournament. Nauk currently not doing so great at 0-3, having scored 0 points since he has not won a game yet, but could still play spoiler for JonSolo, who is currently 2-1, and still, I would say, in contention for single eliminations. Stevens and Tower number 9 have not played their games, their final games, and Stevens and Kingsley haven't played each other. As you can see, Stevens and Tower number 9 also goes by Kingsley in the single elimination status window on your screen right now. They have not played their head-to-head match just yet, so one of those players is going to have a loss, and it's either going to be Stevens at 4-1 or Tower number 9 at 4-1. And JonSolo, if he can maintain his winning streak here, could be in contention for the single eliminations. You might end up in a situation where you're in a two-way tie between these players, and one of them will be bounced out of there. So John still has a... My point is, John still has a pathway to single elims. Both players are going to be playing Separatists tonight. Let me turn this music down. It's so loud I can hardly think. Good lord. Get this out of here. Alright, cool. Welcome again, everybody. Nice to see some familiar faces. I got to see Deco Puma. Welcome. Octobear. Welcome. It's been a while since we've streamed. It's been like a week at least. A long week of... Valheim, a ton of new announcements for Legion. Lando Callis making some serious waves. The AA5 speeder truck and the LAT also being revealed. A ton of information coming down the pike at us about new units in Star Wars Legion. A lot of excitement for what AMG is going to bring to the table tonight. Or tonight, good lord. What they're going to bring to the table tonight and every night after that, because we're trying to figure out what the meta is going to look like once these units are in the wild. Let's move on to the player rosters now. We got Nauk first up here with Cad Bane. He is making the rules now with offensive push, HQ uplink, ascension cables, and electro gauntlets, which I'm a super big fan of. Also, 6 units of battle droids, no heavy weapons, 1 HQ uplink there, and something we really rarely see, 3 full units of BX series droid commandos. Thanks, Octobear, for the nice hat. Yes, it is a nice hat. T-series tactical droid, of course, enabling a lot more bounty hunter lists for CIS. In fact, Cad the only bounty hunter, but basically allowing Cad Bane to be played without taking an additional expensive commander like Count Dooku or General Grievous. Basically letting you run a bounty hunter list in the style of a Boba Fett Veers. Also, all 3 units of BX Droid Commandos being run with Deflector Shields. Welcome in, Banshee Pants. Sorry for the little pause there. Across from Nauk, JonSolo also in control of a Separatist Alliance list with Count Dooku, the man himself, with Force Push, Force Barrier, Force Choke, and Aggressive Tactics. One of my favorite Dooku builds, certainly. Force Choke and Saber Throw.
Master Kenobi, you disappoint me.
Nice, I love it. And speaking of Kenobi, right, you got that Master of the Force Barrier thing going on, but this time you're not trying to protect really good saves, you're trying to protect the really bad saves of the droid units. You also got a unit of the B2 Ha battle droids with the T-Series there to make sure they don't need a coordinate order. You've got 2 medics as well. I am digging this list. This list is seriously spicy. 4 E5Cs as well, an HQ uplink, and 3 BX droid strike teams with offensive push. So this is wild. I love this list a lot. Yeah, that's a good point. Having both T-Series and Uplink when you have Direct, it's a little strange. You probably should use Commanding Presence. CIS meta is so funny. Load up on tanks and repair bots, or put the count in a bubble, wrap him with medics. Absolutely true. Banshee Pants. CIS, I think the best medic faction now. They have perfect control over their medics. It is really, really good compared to, say, like Rebels or Empire, who kind of have to, like, you know, time their medic. In Separatist Alliance, things are taken care of for you already because you generally just have orders on your stuff anyway. So you always have the good medic timing there to heal back any damage taken on the count. Let's flip over here into the main game. I've got to update the game info. I'll show you the position here. It is going to be VAPS on major offensive. Oh, they're taking a 3-minute break. Okay, well, I guess while we're here, I can answer any questions you have. We are trying to focus on newer players in this stream. So if you know someone who hasn't made the leap to TTS or has never watched a TTS stream, if you have a friend who plays Legion who doesn't usually come out to streams like these, invite them here, send them the link to the stream. We'd love to get them into the conversation and talk to them, and you know, ask them about why they haven't done so already, what's holding them back, or if they have any questions, if they're a newer player, they can always, of course, ask our chat or myself. A lot of people who are here, the regulars, and a lot of my subs are extremely experienced players. They can basically answer any question related to Legion you can think of. Alright, we got that, this here, group info stuff. Alright, let's take a look at the board here. So it is fortified positions, and as you can see, blue player Nauk has fortified the center here, basically connecting his this fortified building with his barricades and trying to make a kind of a peninsula here with his army. You got Cad Bane deployed pretty far forward here, so I make the rules now. Cad Bane's 3-pip, revealing him immediately and placing him on the board. Meanwhile, you've got one Bane token over here in red. I don't see the second. There's the second Bane token. It's very likely that this is the Kaboom. Cad Bane is a very interesting character. He's not played a lot, but I think he's got a lot of potential. He's definitely probably the least looked at commander since or at least looked at character on CIS right now. A lot of folks in CIS have been focused on the AAT because it is just pure muscle. Cad Bane, there's a lot to say about him. I think his best feature is that he has steady. Steady lets him move and shoot for free. So he can move, shoot for free, and then move again. And so I want to zoom in on this combination here that Nauk is running in the center of your screen here. So this is an interesting combo, right? You've got a character with jump. You've got a character with Ascension Cables, Uplink, Electron, Offensive Push. You notice that there are 4 exhaustible cards attached to Cad Bane. Well, why is that? Well, the key is that due to some timings, Cad can use his jump keyword and scale keyword in combination to basically peekaboo with the steady keyword. Timer was not on 3 hours. Do I know a fix? Yeah, 10,800 seconds. Thank you, Timbo, by the way. Welcome. Thanks, Banshee Pants, for the help with referring people. The carrier saying Cad Bane seems good but overpriced. Yeah, he is moderately overpriced. Let's see, because in the builder, I don't remember his price off the top of my head. Well, he's 153 when you load him up with the gauntlets. Yeah, I could see it for only 4 black, but it's 4 black, Pierce 1. You know, he's pretty good. He might be a little expensive, yeah. 125 is a bit high, maybe, as a base price. But I mean, I could definitely see the argument that Cad is a bit expensive for what he brings to the table. Anyway, I kind of got sidetracked in there with explaining what the Cad Bane combo is here. So the trick with Bane is that he has both jump, and with Ascension Cables he gets scale. And steady is free. So he ends up with a pile of free actions, and he gets to choose the order of those actions. So when Cad jumps, and he ends in base contact with a ledge, he then has the opportunity both to shoot with steady and scale back down behind the line of sight blocking terrain in the order that he chooses. And then that's essentially letting him climb up and climb down in one move, because he has the free action to scale and the free action to shoot. So that's his major power. And then when he's at the bottom of the line of sight blocker again, he then can recover. So he is able to hold an angle without taking return fire, and then recover all of his exhaustible tech and not really suffer the normal penalty that other units would suffer if they had to take the recover action. So that's why Cad has Ascension Cables, and that's why he has HQ Uplink, and that's why he has Offensive Push, as well as Deco's pointing out in the chat right now. He can also do all of this while aiming, because he has Offensive Push. So it's kind of a confluence of all of these things that like effectively give Cad Bane keywords that he normally wouldn't have, because the free movement is going to really help you out. I see we have some JonSolo fans in the chat. Welcome. I feel like that's a phone number. Wonder what would happen if I called that phone number. I'm really tempted. I'm not saying anyone should call that phone number right now, just by the way. Alright, so a few activations have happened in this turn so far. Looks like some Separatist units have moved and dodged. Pretty sure that's the T-Series back there. The Dooku list still managing to get 10 activations with the Force user that is so expensive. Dooku, speaking of expensive pieces, right? Dooku, incredibly expensive, but also incredibly amazing. And I think especially good on red. Red Vaporators, because he has this like a really big nuke potential with his 1-pip, which is called Fear, Surprise, and Intimidation. Count Dooku, very strong attack there. He does not have Saber Throw, so he cannot do the nuke. There's a nuke you can do with the Lightning and Saber Throw together to throw 3 red, 5 black, with Surge to crit, and I believe Pierce 3, because you have the Lightning Pierce and the Saber Pierce. And I think you can even... is Makashi melee only? Yeah, Makashi's melee only. It'd be pretty broken if you could Makashi with lightning. Not with lightning, if you could Makashi that combo attack. Is VAPS the official neutral objective in comparison to others? Well, when you say neutral, are you talking about objectives that end up tied? I think VAPS is like the most notorious for that, because one unit dead makes a huge difference. There's a lot of other objectives that tie. Bombing run is definitely an objective that ties a lot. Hostage also ties a lot. Payload as well ties a lot. But VAPS was like the first one that really sort of, I guess, offended in this department. People were really cognizant of it and how, you know, defensive games could be because of that neutrality, so to speak. It's not really neutral. It's just that it doesn't incentivize engagement if you are the player with the points lead. Now, this is a dangerous position, as you can see. Cad Bane is up here pretty far. He's protected, but man, are those B2 droids and Dooku real close to him. And Bane would like nothing more than to kind of come up here, you know, maybe get into this this height area. Dooku, of course, cannot jump, so height is going to be Bane's friend here. Of course, he needs to be careful not to get spotted by the Rocket B2s and blown apart. Rocket B2s extremely good against Cad Bane. Cad Bane not exactly the best in the durability department. He really plays more like a rebel hero, relying on his movement to get him out of trouble, relying on the timing of his attacks, or that steady keyword to hide him so he can't be shot back. Really not good at tanking damage is Cad Bane. The other I guess I shouldn't say unspoken. The other ingredient here also is these 3 units of shield sniper commandos. These are sort of like the stock shield commandos with their sniper rifles. I'm really curious to see how they perform. I don't have any indication that they will necessarily do particularly well against the opposing force. They do have impervious, so it might be a little tough for Dooku to chop through them. The one thing I will mention here, let's see, I'm trying to figure out where these surges came from. Maybe from the bolster of the TAC droid. Okay, so that's interesting. So this is kind of like ARC troopers and the generic clone commander. You've got the T-Series TAC droid who can bolster the BX droids, so they get their surge on defense on red saves. That's actually quite clever. Cad wins because he makes the rules now. Exactly. Just he makes the rules. He can write a new RRG mid-game that says I win. Yeah, for real, Banshee. Like neutral, like the sort of tied objectives, you don't want to engage, and that's the trouble. It's not the trouble, but it's like that's kind of the first thing you have to learn as a newer player, is that if aggression is very easy to punish. Speaking of new players, right, and a new player focus, aggression is really easy to punish. You don't want to be a player that goes too early, because you're asking to get shot by the entire rest of your opponent's list, and that's a lesson that every player needs to learn immediately. It's sort of like the basic lesson. Like even before you think about list building, you have to think about activations. How many do you have? How many does your opponent have? How many has he gone with, or she gone with, or they have gone with? And how many do you have left? And you know, in the rush to roll dice and in the rush to sort of get to the action, you can leave yourself a little more exposed than normal. So patience is a virtue, right? Patience is the Jedi way. So that is applicable here to Legion for sure. Another thing too, if you're new, this is a great time to talk about cohesion and a great time to talk about order control. The Separatists, that is the battle droids, are the faction that really does order control the best because they have this fancy keyword called coordinate droid trooper. Every trooper has a type, whether it's a normal trooper, a droid trooper, a clone trooper, a Wookiee trooper. They all have this this type, or an emplacement trooper, or a creature trooper. Almost missed those. But every trooper has a trooper type, and in this case, coordinate droid trooper means when you get an order, you can then issue an order to a friendly droid trooper, and so that's supposed to be like emblematic of, you know, the droids are a centrally controlled robot army. They are sort of, you know, they are rewarded by sticking together and fighting in a ball, and they are at their best when they are tightly centrally controlled. Not so good on their own. When they're spread out, they're kind of hopeless and helpless. They don't really make a big difference once they're separated from their sort of commander, basically. But droids have that ability. It's really important, therefore, to keep your droids in range of each other. And you see what JonSolo is doing here. His army very tightly composed. He's got all of his B1s very close together, and even doing what is on your screen right now. We call this honeycombing. I call it threading cohesion, where you have a unit cohered sort of inside the cohesion radius of another unit, and the bases are they're sort of mismatched, but I call that threading cohesion together. That's a really important lesson to learn. Also a really important reason why you need to clearly mark your bases often enough, especially when it comes to playing battle droids on a real table. There's generally confusion about who is in what unit and what unit am I shooting, and who is in cover and who isn't in cover. That could be a problem. Ooh, okay, we might be seeing a kaboom here from Cad Bane. Yep, there it is. So this is the kaboom. Cad Bane's kaboom, pretty strong. The kaboom damage profile here, 2 red, 2 black, surging crit with blast. Impact 2, not an issue here, but definitely wants to keep his B2s away from an impact weapon. Certainly B2s with their armor 1 are slightly vulnerable to impact weapons, but this is one of the medic units going up to this kaboom. You know, it's fine. If there was anybody who was gonna take the kaboom, it would probably be these battle droids. I kind of wish they had a dodge, but they apparently do not. The medic is for Dooku. Medics cannot heal other battle droids, but they can certainly heal Dooku. So this, the theme of JonSolo's list here is Dooku with 10 health, essentially. You've got 2 medics specifically for the Count. The Count has 6 health. If you can get all your medic charges out, Dooku gets 10 health, essentially. And there's the kaboom going off, hitting just 1 unit there for 3. Let's see, they're pinging around a little bit. What was... Oh, it has blast. I'm just going to comment. It has blast. Okay, so he pinged Force Barrier. So Dooku now using his Force Barrier to protect against the kaboom. Very nicely done by JonSolo there. Yeah, so Blast ignored cover, but Count Dooku used his Force Barrier. Yeah, so Barrier was able to quash that kaboom really quickly. That's an interaction we haven't really seen before. We don't usually see Cad Bane at all, and therefore we don't usually see Cad Bane and Dooku together. But Barrier, another reason Cad Bane is kind of gone lower on the totem pole overall in terms of his power level. New player tip, build your stap like this for easier hiding under tall terrain. No, Nocturnal, I wonder if you listen to Notorious Scoundrels. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You can't not meme. There was a whole... For those of you that don't know, on Notorious Scoundrels, we had a whole entire... We, like, argued for an hour about 90-degree stap riders and building them 90 degrees over and the implications for the line of sight rules. in that instance, and I was just so over it at the end of that conversation. But I mean, it is a problem, right? Like, this is for the people who've gone to tournaments and things like that. You know, Trooper Minis now, small base Trooper Minis have silhouettes. Vehicles and other units like that do not. Emplacement Troopers, for example, Tauntauns, Saber Tank, Staps don't have silhouettes, and so in some ways they have some advantage because there's true line of sight involved. They also have some disadvantage. Like, for example, the Saber has a vehicle body that sticks out over the base a good distance, and so same with the Occupier. If you can see those bits, you can actually shoot the tank without seeing the base. And that's a good point, Nocturnal. The E-Web as well, for example, has that issue. So, you know, there's disadvantages. And there's also the... I mean, in the earlier days of the game, like maybe about a year ago, people were like, well, where is the center? Where do you measure the line of sight from on the E-Web because the model's off center? And the same thing is still relevant now with like the Bark Speeder. I modeled my Barks with sidecars because I don't really want to run Barks without sidecars. Hey, welcome in Moser92, Green Knight, what's up? Make different silhouettes for each vehicle type. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, like the way they did silhouettes was pretty... It was pretty ham-fisted, man. Like they just rolled them out one day and it's like, okay, here you go, and... You know, nothing further. You know, they kind of just left us to our own devices. I mean, I assume they were tested and everything, and you know, but it was just sort of like, okay, here you go, and then that's it, and no like physical product, no explanation. But you know, I'm in the pro silhouette camp. I think it's necessary because of the hobby aspect of the game, which, let's face it, if you're watching a TTS stream, okay, you're like in a niche within a niche within a niche within a niche. It's like 5 layers of niche. Right? You're like, first of all, you have to play Legion. Second of all, you have to be okay with TTS. Third of all, you have to be competitive. Fourth of all, you have to be willing to watch a stream or watch any game of Legion at all. Fifth of all, you have to be willing to watch a game of Legion on TTS, and then you have to be willing to sit through a stream as a live viewer to come watch a stream. So that's like 6 layers right there, or 5 layers right there. I mean, I get what you're saying, Deco Puma, but I hate to point out that we haven't had a major tournament since COVID started, so... Yeah, I know, yeah. 0 out of 0 is still 100%, yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's not wrong. Strictly speaking, you are technically correct, the best kind of correct. Okay, here goes Cad Bane. I think we're going to see some shooting here. Cad Bane is able to shoot some people. Is he going to go for the battle droids? Oh, did these battle droids take a standby? Oh no, Cad Bane, did you forget they had a standby? No, I bet you Cad Bane knows, and Cad Bane's trying to figure out if he can get around this standby somehow while being able to shoot. Or no, wait, is that... Oh, am I confused? No, that's the brown standby. So that's not actually the B2 standby at all. I was confused for a second there. Okay, so this standby not as relevant as I had first believed. But Cad Bane's going to shoot some battle droids here on the Vaporator and see if he can get some damage in. Unfortunately, that's just 1 hit after cover because of Sharpshooter 1 and Pierce. So it'll kill at least 1 droid, and then Cad is going to have to move again. Oh, wow. Cad's committing really hard to harassing this red Vaporator. Dooku is gonna counter move this. Cad is now in. He's in it, man. He's in deep. Now Cad can just go first next turn, move, shoot, and move again back to this position. But this is really aggressive for Cad here. He might be trying to bait John forward so then his commandos can attack. Interesting little turn of events here, a little tactical scenario we've got going on the board right now. You've got Nauk harassing the red Vaporator that's a little bit exposed. You've got Dooku and B2s influencing this fire lane, and then you've got full shield sniper commandos, 3 squads with the tac droid bolster waiting to strike out from hiding and do the damage against the red separatist army. Quite the exchange that's developing here. Did I say nocturnal? I'm sorry. I was trying to say Nauk. N-A-U-K. I don't know. Is it Nauk? I don't know. Can I N-A-U North America, UK, N-A-U-K? I mean, JonSolo is easy enough. I think his name on Twitch is Nox. It's pronounced knock. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But knock. So we have knock for short for nocturnal, and we have knock like N-A-U-K. Knock. Okay. So some black BX droids here. Oh no, they didn't move. I think he's trying to figure out which unit of full BXs he wants to activate now. Yeah, so that's another question here. These full BXs are probably going to shift up here and begin shooting at these B1s. And that T-Series B2 on John's side has already moved. So this would be the opportune time for those BXs to advance and strike out at the B1 battle droids that are moderately exposed here. And Dooku measuring like crazy. I think Dooku's trying to figure out if he can double move force push from here. Double move force push would really screw with Cad right here, because Cad measured like exactly perfectly, and a force push can really just destroy your math if you're pushed that far forward. Wow, these BXs are gonna just unload on this B1 medic up here. In fact, Nauk is probably gonna just move all of his forces forward and just try to unload on this B1 and kill it off, just to put John behind on points here. This is actually really, really good for John. Really, really not good for John, I mean. Good lord. You can tell I'm rusty, man. I've been playing way too much Valheim. Alright, so incoming fire, and whoa, those BXs sucked at shooting. Just one after cover. So both of these shots here from Nauk so far haven't really done a whole lot of damage, just 2 wounds so far. But suppression is piling up on these battle droids. They won't care about it though until they get 6 suppression. Which, you know, they very well might this turn. They're already at 4. I could see them going up to 6. They won't panic yet, but panic still is a thing with droids. They just don't really care about being suppressed. Another interesting interaction is that Cad Bane in this game has the Electro Gauntlet. Let me go ahead and make this big on the screen so y'all can see it. So Electro Gauntlet, pretty nice melee weapon. It's equivalent to Chewbacca, basically. But the really spicy part is that it's kind of like Whipcord in card form, or in an upgrade form. Because once you immobilize something with it, you can then disengage it. So it's a pretty spicy meatball here. And speaking of spicy meatballs, here comes Count Dooku getting ready to throw some lightning at the BX droids. Now this is interesting. BX droids, remember, have impervious. They're also going to be in heavy cover. So this may do nothing. Impervious with Surge even. So yeah, there's a strong possibility this attack will do nothing. Dooku only rolls 5 black for lightning, I'm pretty sure. They're going to fix that now. So Dooku, move lightning into the BX droids for 2 after cover. Not terrible. And with Pierce 1, these commandos should roll 3. Did the commandos have a dodge? Okay, he just forgot to roll Impervious. Okay, so with Impervious, he still misses a save there. So that is going to be 1 BX droid zapped by the Dooku lightning. Unless he decides to shield it with his deflector shields. He needs to put his tokens out, for sure. I think he forgot to put his shield tokens down. But all of these should have shield tokens. Since they brought deflector shields. I think they're going to try to sort out the situation, but I think John is giving him the benefit of the doubt here. He should probably just spend 1 shield. They recently changed how shields work now, don't they? You don't have to declare it beforehand, you just spend a shield to add the block. I don't really I haven't read that shield entry in a while. Oh, okay, never mind. This is actually the, Oh, this is cool. Okay, so this was the You Disappoint Me lightning. I didn't see what command card Dooku had played. He actually played You Disappoint Me, so now that he's zapped these battle droids, he is yanking them forward, and then he still has the ability to force push them again, if he wants to. So he is going to be vacuuming up these BX droids into Dooku, and Dooku is going to try to destroy them with his lightsaber, I imagine. Oh, shoot. Okay, so this is cool, too. Now, with this move, he's actually going to trigger the standby from this B1 battle droid as well. So now, Dooku lightnings, yanks them forward. They spend a shield to take no damage, but now a standby goes off from the brown B1s, and they're going to do some damage as well. That's going to be 2 after cover into the BX droids. I'm fairly certain. That was a pretty sweet maneuver there, using the Dooku lightning pull to pull the BXs forward into the guns of his gun line. And these BXs are going to spend a surge and a shield, I think, and take nothing unless they're out of shield. They might be out of shield, so we might see a BX down. Yeah, I think one of these BXs is down. Okay, so that's 1 BX droid off the board. JonSolo scoring some damage finally. What happened there? Oh, did they not have the surge? Oh no! Okay, why did he remove his sniper? That seems wrong to me. Okay, maybe that was a mistake? I don't know. But, yeah, okay, so he didn't have the surge. He actually had to remove 2 battle droids there, and now Dooku is going to force push again. And these BX droids are going to be, I mean, dead meat next turn. That is really unfortunate for Nauk, our blue player. Losing two BX droids like that to some B1 scrubs. Now, man, if only these B2s had taken a standby, they would be in serious trouble. In fact, I I think if the B2s had taken standby and not moved, like, you would get the standby off the Disappoint Me lightning move, and then you'd force push, and you get the standby off the force push. It'd be like a chain of standby activations. That would have been wild. Yeah, so once, and that's the point, ain't no poser. Like, once John has killed off this unit of BX droids, he is then like in a prime position because Dooku loves being attacked into. Dooku's one of the ultimate defensive force users. He's really good at punishing your opponent's aggression. And that's exactly what's happening here in this game. It has been a bloody turn one so far. Well, it's like it's once per opportunity, I think. But it's like as long as things have standby tokens, they can all be spent at the same time on multiple units, I believe. So if he had taken a bunch of standbys, yeah, exactly, it can proc as many as are eligible. So that's one of like the nightmare scenarios against a force user like Dooku. Is Dooku can use You Disappoint Me to like grab you and pull you into him, and then a bunch of standbys go off once you land. And everything that didn't get to shoot now suddenly gets to shoot you later in the turn. It's pretty dirty. And look who it is. It's going to be these offensive pushing BX droids. And I have a feeling they're going to try their hand at killing more of the enemy BXs. They're going to go ahead and use scale to get up on the side of this building. So move and scale here, and offensive push even to make sure they have an aim token.
Have fear, surprise, and intimidation on your side.
Indeed, indeed. Props if you know where that quote is from, which series it's from. And actually, given this position now, I'm pretty sure that these droid commandos are going to be in the open against this sniper rifle. That is a pain in the behind, and he's going to spend for lethal, I'm sure. Yeah, he needs to roll Impervious. He keeps forgetting to roll his Impervious, unfortunately. Okay, so he rolled the correct number of dice that time. I think he's still going to lose one battle droid to the sniper. Down it goes. And that's actually going to be the end of the first turn, believe it or not, and John now in a very good position to enter the middle game with an advantage. Just going to take a second and fix a couple things. So my apologies for the dead air in advance. Okay. Alright, turn 2, almost upon us. We've got a command card drop from one of the players. Now, interestingly enough, if this were single eliminations, this would put your opponent on the clock. There is no neutral time. It is the first player to put down a command card forces their opponent to go on the clock. Okay, chat, I have a question for you. If you have played 10 or less games of Legion, type 1 in the chat right now. I mean, at any time at all. If you have played 10 or less games of Legion, type 1 in chat, let me know. Okay, Bane playing I'm in Control. So Bane's I'm in Control here says at the start and end of Cad Bane's activation, he may transfer a number of his suppression tokens to any number of troopers at range 1 to 2. Each enemy trooper unit that gains at least one suppression token in this way also gains one immobilized token. That's interesting. It's not very good. Cad Bane doesn't really want to get shot. The 2-pip is kind of... It's kind of not great unless you have a way to generate Cad suppression on Cad Bane natively with like duck and cover. There's not a lot of things that can do that. Okay, so we'll give a special welcome to Shazam Powers and to, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Varna Tretius, for being here today. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you've decided to pick up Legion as a game. And I hope that watching the stream will help you play games better in the future. Keep in mind that if you have any general questions about Legion, please feel free to just throw them out there. Our chat is tremendously experienced, so it's a really, really good group of people, and the community in general is just really great, so feel free to chime in with any questions you have. You're welcome here. Okay, so it's I'm in Control, and Dooku played Ambush, interestingly enough, so the neutral 1-pip now gone from JonSolo's command hand. Certainly has it in mind to play Dooku. Measuring here for his order chaining. I think he's got a problem. These battle droids back here. I think he's trying to figure out if he wants to initiate the uplink to get orders on everybody else. He doesn't have a T-series, so he's going to need to use the uplink if he wants orders on the rest of his army. Doesn't look like he's opted to do that. His uplink unit appears to be in the wrong location. So he's actually going to go into this with no order control and no aggressive tactics, from what I can tell. And as the first action of his turn here in turn 2, he is force pushing again these BX droids into a position where Dooku can melee them and probably mop them up. Dooku has a pretty nice lightsaber, 5 red, excuse me, with crit surge. Really, really good weapon. Has a very strong possibility of just finishing these droids off. I imagine Dooku should just go into melee now. Yeah, so here he goes. So force push, move into melee, and then attack. He doesn't have charge, so he has to move and then attack. And then this droid would pop in. So he's actually dragging the unit leader forward by entering a melee with a second unit. He's going to get a full boat on his dice, 3 crits and 2 hits. So these battle droids are going to have to roll 7 saves because of impervious. Not 6, it's 7. And he's going to need to save all of this to avoid death, and that is much less than all of it actually basically blanking that save. And those droids are toast, man. They are gonzo. They're goners. So now that is going to put our red player, JonSolo, ahead in the points game. And that is exactly where he wants to be. Nauk basically losing these BX droids for free to the forced shenanigans of Dooku. That's going to make life really hard for him going forward here. I don't think so. I think maybe on a... It's an interesting problem, Nostris. I think more saves is better, just generally speaking. So I don't think you use Makashi against Impervious. Well, actually, no, there's an interaction there, isn't it? Or no, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Sabine. I think it's better to just let the Pierce fly. Especially when your opponent doesn't have Surge, you should probably just keep the Pierce. I think the benefits outweigh the costs. Okay, so looking at the game plan going forward for Nauk, he has some options here. He can try to win just by harassing this Evaporator so much that it never gets finished. There's a lot of to-do about the points balance on the Evaporator's objective, but that only matters if the Evaporators are equal. When the Evaporators are unequal, which they certainly are going to be at the end of this turn, because if you look at John's positioning, nothing can approach this Vap and actually do anything about it for a couple turns at least. And Nauk has control of the Evaporator, basically, with his BX droids. He got a little bit too aggressive, lost one to Dooku, but if this Evaporator never gets fixed, John is going to lose. Alright, I'm going to change the music station because this... I love Pretzel, but I use Pretzel on YouTube Safe, and that limits the amount of music that I can actually play through it. Yeah, exactly, Timbo. With the Surge, you should Makashi, because Impervious is a lot better with the Surge, but without Makashi, or without the Surge, you should just let the Pierce ride. Because it's coin flips. Nah, it's too sleepy music. Player's looking for a little bit of clarification on the objective. But like I mentioned, if Nauk can retain control of this Vap, and John does not repair it fully, and if Nauk can hold on to his Vaps, Nauk will take the game. So John's got to be careful about what his next steps are. He is in a position where he has to move into an exposed area. And by contrast, the blue Evaporators are very safe. There's one blue Evaporator here, and then the second blue Evaporator is all the way over here, being manned by a unit of B1s, and so this is a very safe objective. This one is extremely safe as well. So Nauk definitely got the board side advantage here. He's rallying for suppression, doesn't get any off of him. Is he gonna stand and fight with this medic? Okay, I don't dig this, but these guys might just be dead to Cad Bane anyway, so you can try to get the damage in where possible. I think these droids are still shielded, in fact, but that's a really nice roll. Getting one crit after cover into those BXs. And again, this is the time to shoot them when they don't have a surge. It seems they have managed to save it anyway. And he's going to go ahead and take a wound off the Evaporator. Yeah, so it wasn't like he could move away anyway. I guess he could take the wound off and run, but then he would just die to Bane. Oh, his AI attack, duh. Okay. Oh, fair point, Blood Ocean, yeah. Yeah, so you cannot use Makashi against Impervious anyway because it just removes Immune Pierce. Right, so all of John's units have AI attack enabled this turn, I keep forgetting, so... Yeah, he had no ability to actually avoid attacking anything there. I think he might have just wanted to repair and run under normal circumstances, but he had to stand and shoot. Alright, meanwhile, we got Attack Droid coming up here, gonna pass out some surges. In all likelihood, probably move and bolster the two BX droid units. Makes sense to me. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So they expanded the definition of Makashi to include Impervious. Yeah, so how about those Lando Callus previews, huh? Crazy, right? Like, Lando's other card, like, we knew Ace Up His Sleeve, the 2-pip, was really powerful because it was a free standby. So everybody was looking at Ace Up His Sleeve and being like, oh my gosh, Lando Luke, right? Because Operative Luke with a free standby is bonkers. But let's talk about the 1-pip, man. Let's talk about Idiot's Array. Like, Idiot's Array with a Gunslinger, that's pretty crazy, right? Hey, welcome in, turn 6 crits. So did the ATST take it or did the Barks take it? Because I know in that game it was ATST versus Barks. Really? The Barks took it. Holy crap. Well, that all depends, Rob K, right? Like, I think you could run Lando with situational. I think that might be a thing. Like Lando situational Idiots Array might be a thing just to give Lando some like endgame carry potential. Oh, Padme! Oh no! Poor John. I'm sorry to laugh at your fate, John Griffin, but man, you got double secret missioned. Oh, brutal. What a way to get a loss in round robin to a double secret mission. That just feels bad, man. People are merciless in round robin. They just they play the jank that gets the wins. I would hate having to play against a double secret mission. That's awful. Oh, there's a take. Secret mission was a mistake to put in the game. Maybe. I I think putting Secret Mission on a model that was so cheap was a problem. Oh, speaking of bounty, yeah, Cad's gonna have an interesting time with things, and Cad does have the bounty keyword. He can actually bounty Dooku if the opportunity presents itself. Looking at this board position, Dooku and Bane are like super close together, and I don't rate Bane at all against Dooku when they're this close to each other. Dooku, of course, activating first. Actually, Nauk has an opportunity here to do some damage. Like Dooku could take some wounds here. There are medics still left. Like at least should be at least one medic. There they are. Okay, so green is a medic squad. Black is a medic squad. Black is almost eliminated. So more B1s moving up to the barricades here. The story of this game so far has been this lane that Nauk is controlling. And of course you've got Bane hiding behind a heavy cover building and not showing himself, using that steady keyword as best as possible. Doesn't Lando's flaw just prevent you from playing contingencies? Oh, Bane put his Kaboom token on this red Vaporator and it's already gone off. This is the nothing token. So Bane used his Bane token to deploy forward. And then the Kaboom token was on the Vaporator. It did, I believe, just one wound because Dooku was able to barrier it. Oh, no contingencies and no Lando cards. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's fair. What is this music? Oh my god. Ugh. Get out of here. Oh, I see. So Lando needs so if Lando wants the full effect, the 3, he has to risk the flaw. I see. So Lando can get the double, right? But he can get it with Lando can get the double without risking the flaw, but if he wants the 3, then he's gonna risk getting the flaw. Because I think it's because the Ray says if you have a 1, a 2, and a 3 in your discard, then you get 3 tokens. If I'm not mistaken. It's a pretty, there's a lot of text on that card. Oh, I see. So he gets 3 aim, 3 dodge if there's a 3 pip, a 2 pip, and a 1 pip. Okay. So he just gets a crazy token stack, but then again, he has to risk the flaw. But I mean, that fits his it fits his theme, right? Because he's a gambler. He's like, will you play the flaw or won't you? Well, I mean, don't you generally drop a 3 pip on the second turn? I find myself dropping 3 pips early all the time. Like, I drop, like, let's say Lando Luke, right? Because that's the obvious one. You could totally drop Return of the Jedi and then put I Am a Jedi in your contingencies pile. There's also a lot of buzz about the 3 pip all in. I'm not that excited about it. I think people are looking at it for the 4 crit potential. They're trying to like figure out a way to make Lando get 2 crits normally, and then it doubles into 4 crits from the card text on all in. Yeah, exactly, Nocturnal. It's like super themey. Okay, now this is Cad Bane's activation here. He's doing the combo, I'm pretty sure. His Cad can jump. He can actually jump first and then scale down. He needs to do the jump first, though. Or is he going for Dooku? Interesting. I think he's better off going for the B1 unit here and just getting them off the objective as fast as possible and not bothering with Dooku. But then again, like, if you're gonna shoot Dooku, you better do it early. Yeah, it's also true. You need a natural crit result. You can't surge. Alright, so Nauk here deciding on the final position of Bane, but he's gonna do the combo. He's almost certainly gonna, yeah, there he goes, exhausting Ascension cables. He'll probably exhaust offensive push as well. Maybe exhaust up. Well, he didn't need to exhaust uplink, but he's going to do the thing that he does with the recover. Alright, so he's going to jump up there, steady shoot with offensive push, and then scale down back to this side of the building. He's got those guys. Those droids are going to be in the open for sure. Touching the terrain. Barricade doesn't help. Suppression doesn't help. Chance to eliminate the squad. There it is. 4 hits. These B1s are almost certainly dead. And down they go, piercing that 1 result there for the full unit dead. So a BX droid on Nauk's side being killed, a medic E5C B1 dying from JonSolo. So Nauk putting himself closer to a points lead with that maneuver, but most importantly, killing off a unit that's fixing the evaporator. But also, very importantly too, killing a medic before it gets to be used. So he actually just removed 2 healing from the board with that shot. That was that's actually a pretty bitter trade, frankly. Let me just look at Legion HQ real quick. So, 1 unit of BX droids with deflector shields and the sniper is 116. A medic E5C is just 68 by comparison. So, okay, so it might have felt like a stiff trade, but it really wasn't. 68 points is not even close to 116, so he's going to need to kill at least 1 more unit in the enemy squad to make up the difference, and it can't be like a sniper or anything like that. It's got to be like something hefty, like the other medic or the B2s. So losing that BX droid actually put Nauk he's pretty upside down points wise, even with the elimination of that B1. And oh no, his best shooter, the B2, his best shooter is going to go do the VAP. Okay, I don't really agree with this decision here by John, but hey, you do what you got to do. Move, dodge, wild. Okay, Okay. I guess you can do this. Armor and a dodge will save you some grief, as well as cover. Well, the struggle that I have with all in on defense is that your opponent can remove surges, because if you have to declare blocks, right? So there is a chance, of course, that you can like, okay, well, I rolled one block, so now I get 3 blocks, right? But if you don't roll a block, if you roll all surges, your opponent just removes your surges, and you get wrecked. But if you were going to get pierced anyway, I guess it wouldn't make a difference. I don't know. I think it depends on what he's defending against. Oh, I see, but it's not mandatory, so I guess you can choose whether or not to declare it. Yeah, versus Pierce, you should always all in. There's almost no downside. Okay, well these B2s ended up moving forward, and now these BX droids are going to respond to that movement by coming up here and seeing if they can chip some wounds off. B2 is very expensive unit, definitely one of the units that, if they were killed off, would get blue player Nauk back into this game. But those B2s, or sorry, those BX droids are not shooting terribly well this game at all, really. Only getting 2 hits there, and the armor is going to take care of it, even after the sharpshooter removes 1 point of cover. So that's just going to be suppression and no damage to those B2 droids to start things off. After rerolls, but before surge conversion. Yeah, it's wild, huh? Okay, well that's the end of 2. Kind of a static turn, not a lot of things dying here. I guess the biggest development in turn 2 there was that medic squad getting wiped out. And now John, John's under pressure, right? And Nauk is playing to his win condition, which is keep this Vaporator untouched. Or as touched as little as possible. There is even, I could envision a world even where Bane like jumps over and comes in and like slides in for a sort of a home run on the Vaporator. That's definitely possible if Nauk loses priority. Oh shoot, we got I'm Your Worst Nightmare from Cad Bane coming out here. So this is interesting. Cad Bane gains Uncanny Luck 2, and during his activation he can perform up to 2 attack actions. So this means that Cad could potentially, I think this is the move twice and steady twice card. I think that's what that does. The rerolls on defense are kind of like, who cares? But the double tap is really the benefit here. Some might call Lando's tactics an idiot's array. We'll love it. Alright, so lots of orders dropping here. I think both players... Let's see, what did John end up playing? Did he play standing orders? No, he played Roger Roger. Okay, so Roger Roger says, when a unit is issued an order using this card, it gains either a dodge or a surge. Okay, wild. So he gave these B2s 2 surges. Basically, this is the, what I call, like, inverse order pool, where you just sort the order pool down to one token type, and then it becomes not random anymore. So you're, like, inverting the order pool or sorting the order pool. It's a thing people do in Legion to make their order control perfect, essentially. You just try to get all the tokens of one type out of the order pool so you have an increased amount of predictability. In this instance, it's 1 token, and that's Dooku, so you know exactly when you can go. So John is going to have perfect order control this turn. Nauk, it looks like, will as well, having thrown one of his uplinks here. Actually, he's not going to have control over 1 unit of these special forces. They'll have to AI move dodge before they attack. Another shot coming out from his BX snipers. Full unit of BX snipers again. Looks like an aim shoot. Let's see. So with that roll, just the 1 crit is going to go through because of armor on those B2s. Yeah, Idiot's Array is it's a winning hand in Sabacc. I mean, when I play Lando, I'm definitely going to use the Sabacc sleeves from LVO 20. That's happening 100%. I'm looking forward to Lando Wookiees personally, because Wookiees really benefit from rerolls. So those observation tokens being dropped by All In, super good. LVO 20 also had the Italian promos. I have an Italian Bosk. Not that there's anything wrong with being Italian, it's just Italian's not my first language, so I'm just sort of like, okay, you know, I know what the card says, I guess. I mean, I collect other, you know, cards in other languages. I have a German Sabine set. In fact, I actually traded Octobear for his German Sabine, and traded my Vader, one of my Vader sets, I think. Traded that away. Leia, Lando, Chewie, Wookiees, yes, absolutely. You know, imagine Wookiees with a standby token for free. Like, that's insane. Like, Wookiees already hurt like hell, and getting a standby in when you're already in melee, like, ugh, gross. Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, that's for sure. How many capes is your Lando going to wear? As many capes as possible, I guess. I don't know. Many capes. I got some Spanish ones to trade. Nice, I'm digging it. I'm actually learning Spanish in Duolingo right now. Not just because I live in Florida and Spanish is spoken a lot here, but I personally would like to increase my ties with the Argentinian Legion community. They seem like really good guys, and you know, Mikel Obato and all the stuff that Econdris does with the heavy cover website, trying to get this. You know, they're really interested in getting the sort of streaming side of things more organized. So it would help me if I spoke a little bit of Spanish. Just sort of ease communication there. I think let me try this, and if people can tell me if I'm wrong. I think I'm supposed to say, Yo juego los rebeldes. I think that's how I say I play rebels. So it would appear that the attack from those BX droids did not do any damage. Oh, we got some setups going on here. We got some more... Dooku's got some shenanigans brewing here because we see another standby token coming out for these B1s. So maybe Dooku thinks he can go fishing again and grab another BX droid that tries to come forward. I think if I'm in John's position, it's interesting, right? I would try to be calculating how many actions it would take to fix my evaporator and maintain my points lead. I would also maybe be trying to figure out how to put enough pressure on Cad Bane, maybe to either chase him away or kill him. Whatever the case, Cad needs to get chased away from this evaporator post haste if I'm in John's position here. I got Spanish cards because that's all I could find in stock for Phase 2s. Oh man, yeah, I get it. I get it totally. I don't know, man. How many Spanish Phase 2s do you have? I could probably trade you. I own 4 English ones. I could probably trade you a few English cards. Yeah, so I wonder what Cad is going to spend his 2 attacks on. Probably, you know, he's probably just going to wait to go last with Cad as last as he can, considering that he won priority here. And just double tap anything that comes close to the evaporator, and Cad is basically safe in this position. Gonna take some... I think it's going to take some commitment from these B2s. You're going to have to be willing to like double move out there and actually chase Cad Bane away. But, you know, it's going to be a struggle. They're going to have to weather a lot of fire, and this kind of peninsula of heavy cover that Nauk established towards the red evaporator, really serving him well this game so far. This, in all the games that I've watched on Naboo, this piece of cover right here, the fortified building with the 2 levels, it's really been the centerpiece of like every game I've played on this map. It's so good for hiding behind, for putting force users on. It's really been the focus of every battle I've either casted or played on this Naboo Imperial occupation map. Nice. Soldados Clan Fase 2. I like that. Yeah, so this game really demonstrates why activation count is important. Number one, having more stuff, like just more units, gives you more actions per turn. So when you have objectives that are based sort of around action economy, like evaporators, you know, you need to have enough you need to be able to spend enough actions to do the evaporators without injuring yourself economically. And same goes for recover the supplies, for example. Activation count really matters, not just for having enough stuff to do the objective with, but also for the timing of moving those really sensitive pieces, like box carriers, like units that would be the best eligible to go get the evaporator. But this is really never a place you want to be on VAPs, is in a position where you have a player either influencing or attempting to capture one of your own VAPs. That's generally just never good for you. But those are the more interesting games of VAPs. The last time I played VAPs, I felt like I had to apologize to my opponent because I got blue with bidding. I was against Palpatine, and I played really, really defensively. I basically stuffed my entire army into a corner of the board and said, walk to me. And we spent like 5 turns walking towards each other, basically. And then on turn 6, Now You Will Die happened, and it wasn't enough to kill me off as clones. So those games are like really, really boring because it's literally just 5 turns of moving and maybe some sniping here and there. A lot of people are really advocating, well, when I say a lot of people, I mean like most of the people that I talk to in the podcasting circuit think that VAPs should be changed and there should be like a 5th evaporator added, or something needs to happen to break that tie that usually happens. That's wild, Nocturnal. Like, you just sort of know what's gonna happen, and you're just like, okay, fine, you know, it's cool. There's no way I can get back into the game because you'll just turtle up. GG. And that's similar with Recover as well. Like, you can play the game, but it's basically meaningless because that 3rd box might be long gone. Alright, a battle droid being sniped off by these BXs over here. Some dice getting rolled again. A lot of standbys piling up. Let's see, at least one there. I got another one. So these are all B1 units standing by. They're maybe trying to ward off the, any advance by these BXs towards the VAP, but really the BXs don't even care. They're just going to hold the angle and keep shooting. But John is ahead on points. John is the defender at this juncture, but he's only the defender if he can get this last wound off. So John not able to sit back quite so much. He's going to lose if the status quo remains because he's down a point. Imperial_sympathizer says, are we talking about broken objectives? What about KP when the center terrain can be smothered by an AAT? Yeah, that's true. Maybe maybe they'll have to errata that part of the rulebook to say vehicles have to respect the key position marker and not land on the middle key position. I mean, it does kind of suck. Maul was able to sneak up on one of the enemy VAPs and kept shuffling enemy units around. Yeah, Maul could be a real jerk like that with those 3 actions. That's another thing too, like having a Force user I think is an automatic advantage on evaporators because of the Force push shenanigans. And because, especially if you have a Force user with jump, like, VAPs is their favorite objective for so many reasons. A lot of people tend to hide their VAPs behind line of sight blocking, which gives you an opening because you can just put your Force user on the other side of it. and you're like, okay, your hiding place is mine now. I got another sniper blasting at these B1s on the far side. He's gonna get a kill there. So JonSolo forcing Nauk to pick up some B1s here as the third turn of the game progresses. We're about halfway through it now. Currently, I think Nauk has finished his objectives. Yes. So Nauk is finished. He's got 4 points in the tank. He is down 116 because he lost a full unit of shielded BXs to Dooku's You Disappoint Me 3-pip earlier in the game. But JonSolo, the red player, he is missing a point. He's actually only scored 3 points so far. So his challenge is getting enough bodies on this objective to finish it without falling behind on points. But Nauk is doing a good job of contesting this red Vaporator by hiding Cad Bane near it and by parking his army in a lane relatively protected from the enemy army, but able to shoot towards that Vaporator. So I think a lot of turn 3 here being spent, both armies kind of piling together, getting ready for the big push that's probably going to happen next round. I think John is probably thinking about attacking with everything on turn 4 here. Because at that point it becomes make or break. Like, you gotta go in on turn 4 and get it done and just weather the losses, whatever they are. Killing more BXs is certainly ideal. They're very expensive. Killing Cad Bane as well. Cad Bane is 153 points, riding on 6 white saves. It's pretty easy target if you can find him. And of course, John is also waiting here because he knows Cad has his 1-pip enabled. The I'm Your Worst Nightmare, where Cad gets to attack twice with steady. So he's kind of waiting it out. And that's another reason he's taking these standbys, because if Cad wants him, he's going to have to come get him. And Cad only shoots at range 2.
I'm in control. I make the rules now.
Exactly, Farce Returns. Thank you for spending your channel points. I actually spent about 45 minutes today, like, combing through clips and recording the loot bag and plugging it into the sound alerts library. Oh shoot! Speaking of attacks, this is actually a pretty heavy attack against those B2s, but they save it on a 6, taking no damage there from those B1s. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things actually, is the sound alerts. I change them for every stream as long as I know what the lists are in advance. I can actually change them depending on what armies are being played, basically. Okay, actually, now that the game has progressed a little bit, let's do this. I wasn't gonna put it up because one player lost a unit early, but given the tactical position, I actually really do want to know what you all think, who's actually gonna come out on top here, because this game is kind of riding on a knife edge. So I'm gonna set up a prediction. Y'all can tell me what you think is gonna happen here. I'll tell you what I think later, but I'll set up this Twitch prediction now, and y'all can bid your channel points. A chance for you to win more, so you can access sound alerts, or tell me to check my posture, because I do need to check it. Thank you, Deco, for that reminder, man. Okay, we got some more droids coming up here. Shooting at the B2s, interestingly enough, it's wild. I would contemplate moving into a position to split fire, potentially, and try to remove some standbys so that CAD can work. Alright, so the player's pinging around here trying to figure out what exactly these BX droids are able to see. Another important thing for newer players here, line of sight is determined from each individual mini. So each mini has to be able to see to contribute their attack dice. But the leader is the one that you measure range and cover from. Alright, those of you with your channel points, you can now wager them on either Cad Bane or Count Dooku. Ooh, big shot coming from these droids. Getting 4 hits and 2 crits into those B2s. This actually has the potential to do some serious damage. Yeah, that's going to be 4 saves. And, ouch, 2 B2s being eliminated there. Actually, I think that's... I don't know if they calculated that right. I think he may have forgotten armor there. The 2 from cover. Oh no, sharpshooter. Okay, I forgot sharpshooter. It wasn't heavy cover, it was only light cover. So armor, it's the correct number of dice. So armor canceled sharpshooter in that instance, but it was still 4 afterward. And so two full B2s are going down. So these B2s are being damaged here by these BX droids. A very appropriately timed Wilhelm scream. And not a lot of love for Cad Bane in this chat right now. Ouch. People really pro Count Dooku with this game. I don't know, man. I think Cad's got a really nice position here. I think Cad could pull it out. And I would give Nauk major props for winning in a round robin game with Cad Bane. People don't play him. I mean, I would see Cad Bane with like uplink staffs. I think that'd be pretty amazing, actually. Cad Bane with like maybe like 1 unit of B2 Stab Riders. I could see a list like that. Yeah, Cad is definitely, he's definitely been given short shrift, to put it mildly. Okay, ooh, interesting here. These B2s took a standby. They didn't actually touch the VAP. Oh man, and Cad is gonna walk out into the storm. But I guess there's no choice. Everything else is gone. So Cad, if he wants to kill these B2s, he's going to have to cop a standby attack. Oh my goodness, what is he doing? He's falling on the sword here. Couldn't you just go after Dooku? Okay, I guess he's going for the B2s. Wow, he needs to be careful. Yeah, his B2s hit their standby. It's a little bit weaker, but still pretty darn good. 3 red. Yeah, the Ha, yeah, 3 red from the Ha, the tac droid, and the 1 B2 there. And spends the surge to make it 4. Cad could take some serious damage here. And Cad, oh, with a monster save from Cad Bane. 1 wound only, and Uncanny Luck too! Oh, he almost saved the full thing with Uncanny Luck. Wow. Wild. What a wild twist. Okay, so now he's steady attacking. Yeah, that was a monster save from Cad, but this attack is horrible. Armor will bounce that hit. No damage. Okay, is Cad... What is Cat considering going in for Electros? No. Oh no. He's spinning the movement tool. Oh, he's conflicted. Mans is conflicted. Don't do it. Dooku has FSI. Don't do it. He could all, Dooku could also double the fall him. Actually, not this turn, but next turn.
Master Kenobi, you disappoint me.
Yeah, don't do it, Cad. Cad, no. No, Dooku, disappointed.
Nice hat.
Okay, so he elects not to hide. He does double tap. I think he needs to play another 1-pip here. He's almost certainly has ambush, so he's probably going to ambush with Cad. Dooku has FSI, and he has an uplink? Oh man, Dooku could actually go with these B2s first with FSI uplink here and do more damage to Cad. But Cad not taking wounds from that B2 assault really opened the game, or kept the game open for Nauk here. He really cannot afford to lose Cad Bane. Cad is 153 points. Alright, cards coming out here. It's put... Whoa, okay, I did not expect this. Roger from Nauk. Okay, he's doing the same thing John did on the previous turn, using Roger to get the full order control to make sure Cad can go when Cad needs to by being the only token in the stack, or the only token type in the stack, I mean. But wow, Dooku winning with a push, that's actually really not great for Cad. I guess the good news is if they want to touch the VAP, they can't recover the Ha, and so Cad would still have cover. I also feel like Cad should have kept his suppression from Danger Sense, or with Danger Sense the previous turn. I think Nauk may have either cleared it accidentally or forgotten to declare it. Thank you, Tumnus, for the stretch reminder. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I don't know about y'all, when I sit for these casts for a long time, my hamstrings really go crazy. So I need to do these hamstring stretches. I did PT for my back a while back, so do like hamstring stretches, heel raises, you know, the whole gamut. Dooku did go last turn. He did. Okay, so the B2s rally, and then... Okay, they rally, they fix the VAP, of course, because they gotta even that up. That's gonna put John back on defense. Oh, wow, they're just gonna retire from the field. Okay, gonna make... Okay, I totally get this. He's moving away to try to bait Cad forward if Nauk wants this kill. Because Nauk certainly does. So the instant this Vaporator got flipped, John became the player that's on defense. Now it looks like Nauk is going to have to take some risks here and attack into a Dooku that is waiting to pounce. Oh, I'm happy to do it, man. I want to get as many people involved in Legion as possible. So I'm always happy to teach. Well, Dooku's in an interesting position, right? He's hidden behind this crate. We used to call these man-sized crates. They're just tall enough to hide him completely from vision, even if you use the silhouette. So Dooku's pretty safe where he is right now. I mean, even from CAD. I think what Nauk really wants to get done here, I guess he's trying to threaten this objective and maybe like distract John a little bit with this red B1. But I think what Nauk really wants to do is push out along this lane and start shooting at this B2 and try to kill it off. This B2 has 4 wounds left. So if he can do it, if he can finish it off, that would be really, really good for Nauk. I think let me just double check. The points total of a B2 Ha with TAC droid is 93. Wow, that's so aggressively priced. That's putting it mildly. Alright, let's take a look here. So he moved this red B1. It's fairly well hidden. I don't know what the plan is. The plan to try to dive this VAP towards the end of the game, or is he just stuffing this guy here because it's a safe place to put him, maybe? Or is he trying to move around the back to kill off BX strikes? That might be a thing. And speaking of BX strikes, we got one here shooting into a unit of B1s. I'm sure he'd much rather shoot at, I think he should probably shoot at the shielded ones. Because these shields don't recover unless, well, they don't regenerate unless you do a recover action, because that's how recharge works. But instead he's going to shoot at a battle droid and pick one off. So only 5 bodies left in the blue battle droid unit. Yeah, I've had... Okay, that's interesting. So, CIS units are priced like AI is a downside, even though it comes up about 0% of the time.